Producer has got.
Okay, now we're
Now we're live.
Okay, so, oh my God.
Okay,
So
you've
let's
officially.
start from the top here. We are back. It is episode 117 of the Metal Roundtable on a Sunday afternoon. We actually did start at 4 o'clock, but I didn't press the magic button because our producer, who is, as we know, suffering with some health issues right now. So the production is laying in my incapable hands. But now we are live. So Tony, thank you for messaging me and saying, hey, I don't see the show. Oh my gosh. Well, at least my embarrassing Toya question didn't go out live.
Well, and the thing is you've now completely topped the Gene Hoglan debacle with this. So, you've got a new number one with a bullet.
Wow. Okay. I am so sorry. We are joined and we have wasted a precious 15 minutes of Nigel Glockler's time. Let me reset this up. Tony Friars, who's a friend of mine, a couple of episodes ago after the Havoc episode with Dave, messaged me and said, hey, I know Nigel from Saxon. Would you like to get Nigel? And of course I said yes. Where the hell have you been? Let's get Nigel. So Nigel is visiting Texas right now and was kind enough to think he was going live with us. And now we are actually live.
Are we really? Double check now. Just make
Check,
sure.
check.
I can see it live, 141, 142. Yes, we have cleared the tower.
You're sure?
Good Lord.
The eagle has landed.
Yes. Oh man. Well, let's quickly. I am so sorry. Let's quickly catch up on some of the things that we talked about. My gosh, the new record comes out from Saxon on February the 22nd of next year.
This is like Groundhog Day, you know this.
Oh my gosh, it really is.
Could this be any more Spinal Tap? Yeah. I mean, good grief.
We've had our glitch for the mission. Maybe this won't end up like Apollo 13.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So the new album, Carpe Diem, it comes out on February 22nd of next year. Yeah. You've already told us about it, but if you don't mind, please tell us.
I'll tell you again. Yeah. As I said, I mean, if you like Thunderbolt and you'll be into this. It's the same kind of.
That again.
There you go again. There it is. And hopefully, we're kind of looking at hopefully getting over there next. Well, I'm here already, but coming over and touring the States. Hopefully, sort of late spring, early summer.
Awesome.
Cool. We will be there.
That's all down to the pandemic, of course.
Right.
But that's the provisional plan. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, that will be cool. So we were talking before I actually brought us live. We were talking about the band you were in before Saxon, and you were telling us a little bit about that. So recap that, and then how you came to be in Saxon in the lead up to the first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well. Oh God, geez, where to start again? Let's see. Yeah, so I was sort of in local bands in my hometown, Brighton, in Sussex, in the south of England, and then I joined the first pro band, which was a band called Krakatoa, and we had Hans Zimmer as a keyboard player, which is pretty cool, and. No, that was great, and I still write actually with the guitarist from that band. He's one of my best friends still, and we write a lot of library music and stuff, for documentaries and that kind of thing. So I'm still in touch with him. After that, I sort of went into session stuff, and then I did an album with this guy called Zane Griff, who was New Zealand guy who was very much into Bowie. And I was doing an album with him, and it was through that I met Toya. And the next thing I knew, I had a phone call from her producer asking me if I'd like to go, sort of do a session with them. And that ended up being the band, And that went on, and we were sort of, we were really popular. And it was about, I guess, end of 81 that I got a call to see if I could stand in with Saxon, because I think Pete Gill had injured his hand or something. And as I said to you before, again, Groundhog Day. You know, the first gig was in my hometown, and I bought bloody tickets for it, you know, and they never refunded me, of course. And so the friend I was going with said, well, you better find someone else to go with because I'm playing. And he went, what? And then they asked me to join. That was it. And then about 10 days later, we had, there you go. They said, yeah, we're doing a live album in about 10 days. And I was like, yikes. No pressure then.
No.
I know that pressure well, unfortunately.
I think it turned out all right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's been a pretty good.
It turned out fantastic.
I've sort of escaped a couple of times, as you probably know. But it sort of, you know, but it sort of slowly sort of slung a hook out and pulled me back in, you know. So
was a lot of live albums from the 70s and early 80s had a lot of re-recordings on them. Is this one? I've always heard that this one was pretty much live. There wasn't a whole lot of studio retouching.
No, there wasn't. That is live.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I'd read.
Yeah. No, it is.
And then your first studio album was this it?
No, Power and the Glory.
Power and the Glory.
Yeah, that was my first live one.
Where is it? Got it right here. There it is.
There you are. He's got them all there.
Yep.
He probably got it on 8-track.
Yeah.
Oh man, Scott's got everything. Between these two guys, you can't get anything past them.
When it comes to Saxon, I do. Ready? Here's the singles.
Oh. No, I mean that was a pretty important album for me. That one, you know, and it's still, you know, it's still one of my favorite albums anyway. I guess because of the vibe that was with it. Because you know, obviously I was the new boy in the band, and I know Pete Gill had been well loved by the fans, so I had to impress on that album. You know, that was quite nerve-wracking in a way, but I was quite up for it.
So how did the recording go for that? What do you remember from the sessions and getting the nerves out and all that?
What, from the recording of that? We recorded that at Jeff Glicksman's studio in Atlanta. And it was great, actually. And funnily enough, I was a big, still am, a big Kansas fan. And Steve, the singer from Kansas, came by because obviously Jeff knew them because I think he'd produced a couple of their albums. Mm-hmm. And he had his band, The Streets, then, I think. He came to the studio and everything. So that was great meeting him. And then the other thing was we were all sort of, all the band, we were all into Indian food, you know, like curry and stuff.
I heard
and we found this curry place in Atlanta that was run by two guys from Birmingham in England. And it was like, yes, you know, that was great. So we tried to escape down there as much as possible. But no, it was a good that was a good vibe doing that album. It was great.
Yeah, it was it took the band into a little more melodic direction, I thought, than the first few albums that, you know, those first 4 or 5 albums that they did before you were in the band.
Right.
But these days people I think they've pretty much forgotten about P. Gill, and you are the Saxon drummer. I mean, a lot
of people have said that you know, they regard me as an original, but you know, I mean, you can't knock what Pete did. You know, he was there at the beginning, and you know, he did some great playing on it. So brilliant.
Exactly.
So from sitting at the back of the stage, I would
actually
like to know...
let me interject here. Actually, I was talking about the Pete Gill thing. So when we started playing Motorcycle Man live, because Pete did that really fast triplet roll near the beginning of it, and I never used to do that. And Biff turned around to me and said, "Look, you've got to do that, Phil. It's really important, this." So I remember, I mean, I had a big kit. I had something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably about 9 toms, right? Sort of like a Neil Peart setup, which I still have today, that kind of thing, because I love all those small toms. So I thought, I wonder if I can try it. So, right, he's done that on 2 toms. I'm going to try and get the whole lot in the same time, right? So we were doing sound check somewhere in Germany, I think it was. And it came to this, and I started this fill, and I, you know, I had a little 6-inch was the first tom. And I thought, I've got to get round this whole lot in the same time. and I just whooshed round these toms, but equilibrium kept me going, and I flew off the back of the riser.
That's funny. That's awesome.
I flew off the back of the riser. Half my monitor system fell on top of me because I was.
No.
Oh yeah, it was. They were just playing clunk, and the rest of them, where's he gone?
I don't feel so bad about the show false start now. That's
this
definitely better than what I did.
is even more Spinal Tap than we thought.
Yeah, oh
Well,
yeah. That
Please
really
don't
was,
explode.
That really
Just-
was Spinal
Yeah,
Tap.
just don't explode, Nigel.
that-
I mean, I almost stood up to play it. You know, to get on these high tones. I went hurtling round and couldn't stop. That was it, straight off the back.
Oh, that's crazy. That is very funny. But that, oddly enough, that leads me into what I was going to ask you. So when you're sitting at the back of the stage and you're focused, have you ever looked up to see something either crazy or scary going on out there, and you're just like, what in the hell is happening here?
No, that usually happens around me, actually. I mean, you know, there was another time we were sort of playing, because I really love the way, you know, Alex Van Halen used to do the flaming drumsticks thing.
Mhm.
So I thought, we'll try that then. So we had a pair of sticks, and we put some like rag around the top and wired it so they wouldn't, you know, and so it wouldn't come undone. And my tech used to sit behind me with a towel underneath him, and he'd soak these things in lighter fluid because I'd do it in the drum solo, right? So the idea was I'd be playing away, and then suddenly the lights would go out. He'd hand me the flaming sticks, and I'd sort of flail about with those. Anyway, I started flailing about, and the wire holding the rag came undone, and this flaming rag came right down and wrapped itself around my wrist.
Oh no!
So I went threw this thing back, and of course it landed on the towel that he was at, and I just got visions of his face with these flames coming up, and he's like, and he was sitting there, and he was like,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
he got singed legs that night. So
Good grief.
Where
And
were
yet the
you
fans-
playing when that happened? Do you remember?
where was it? I think it was over here somewhere, actually. I'm not sure.
So what was your first tour in the U.S. with Saxon?
That was Molly Hatchet,
Okay.
which was a total mismatch.
In what
Both
way?
great bands.
Wrong. I mean, musically,
Gotcha.
Yeah, yes. I mean, they were like a heavy Southern rock, but
they were like Southern rock. We'd come on, it was like, what the hell's this, you know? Kind of. But no, I mean, we had our fans in the audience as well. It was great, you know. I mean, I was just glad to get to America and play, you know, because I just read so much and heard all the bands over here and everything, and I was just dying to get here, you know.
so
What have been
how
your
was it?
favorite U.S. bands to play with?
Sorry?
What are some of your favorite U.S. bands that you've played with?
That I've played with? Oh, jeez.
You've played with a million.
Yeah, I mean, we played, well, I mean, they're not US, Canadian. We played with Triumph, Rainbow, Cheap Trick. That was a great tour, actually, with Cheap Trick. Once Aldenova joined,
Oh, I love Aldo.
it was as soon as he joined, it was sold out everywhere, massive places. Before that, it was Crocus, I think, were on in the middle.
Mhm.
That was they were nice guys to us as well. It was great.
Oh, that's very, very cool. So we had
Bunny nearly stood in for me one night. So
Oh, really?
yeah, because I got pneumonia.
Oh, geez. And you played?
Yeah, I got taken to hospital. I didn't know what it was. Got taken to hospital. So this was 82. Yeah, got taken to hospital, and they said, you got pneumonia and you can't play. And I said, I've got to, because we couldn't afford to cancel. And so I got back. I just said, give me something so I can play. And he said, okay, so you can play, but you mustn't sweat at all. You can do any gigs now, but you mustn't sweat. So as the tour went on, everyone else was like sunbathing. I had to stay in a cold room, you know.
Oh, jeez.
And typical, you know. But no, he went back and that Bunny had volunteered to sort of stand in for me if I couldn't play.
Wow.
You know, but they wheelchaired me onto the stage, and I had an oxygen mask on, and I managed to do it.
Oh, wow.
That was all right. It was okay. I didn't have much power in it. There was no like big sort of John Bonham endings of songs. It was just like, here's the end bap. Bunny told me later that he sat on my kit and went, whoa. Because, you know, he just play a 4 or 5 piece. And he was just a bit.
Got
he
a
was
couple
a
of
bit
comments
salty,
coming in here.
Sorry?
I got a couple of comments coming in here. This is our buddy Robin. And then we actually have a question from a fan, if you don't mind. Here we go.
Sure. Oh, that's it, is it? From Scotty. Yep. Yeah, what happened with that? I mean, we did all the writing and everything, and we went into the studio. Jeff Downes was producing the album, and I think there was something going on politically. I think, you know, one minute we were hearing, oh no, it's got to be more commercial. The next minute, no, we want it to be more proggy. You know, so we were sort of being pulled in all different directions, and then something went down, to be quite honest with you. I don't know. Just one day Steve came in and said, it's done, it's over. And we were so close to finishing it. I think probably another 2 to 3 weeks, the album would have been finished, ready for mixing.
Man.
But apparently it's come out, obviously probably someone at the studio or something's leaked it.
Wow.
It's come out. You can find it on, I think it's called Neurotrend or something. You can find it somewhere on eBay or somewhere. And it's basically unmixed and very rough versions of the songs that we were doing.
I just wrote that down.
But the funny thing is, since then, I've just been working. Robert Berry was the guy brought in to replace Steve Hackett. And Robert went on to work with Keith Emerson. And I've just recorded an album with Robert, actually, in California. So that's
tell us more about that.
No, I can't at the moment. If I did, I'd have to kill you. But,
well, he's killing the show, so we might as well.
It was just Robert just rang me out and said, I've got some songs I'm doing. Can you come over and do some playing on them? So I said, yeah, sure. And it was nice because we kind of kept in touch after the GTR thing, you know.
Well, since we're on the subject of not Saxon, can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, well, I got that through the fact that Jeff was producing the GTR album, so we kept in touch during that, and he suddenly rang me up and said, will you come and play a few tracks on an Asia album? And they were recording in my hometown anyway.
Oh.
And so that's how that occurred.
So you were never actually a member of Asia, you were just kind of a fill-in drummer, a studio drummer?
Yeah, I was just a session player, yeah.
Oh. And then might as well ask you about this one too, since I pulled it out. But this is the Steve Howell Turbulence album.
Yeah, well, again, through the GTR thing, Steve, you know, having played with Steve and everything, he said, I'm doing some tracks now, and, you know, will you come and play on them? So I went, yeah, sure. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, you've played with some pretty big name, other than the Saxon guys. You played with some pretty big name players, some very well-known players.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing, and I also love the sort of playing different genres. You know, I think it keeps you fresh. And
yeah, and on this particular album, half of it was you, and half of the album, the Turbulence album, was what's his name, Bill Bruford. Was the other?
That's right. Actually, I played on 2 tracks on that album.
Yep, and Bill Bruford played on the rest, I believe.
Yeah, and Bill, funnily enough, he resampled my tracks. He put some of the cymbal things or something through a Simmons pad or something. I don't know. So, which was interesting because I know Bill was really into his electronics around that time. You know, you had the King Crimson stuff he'd been doing. Right. With all the electronic pads, with the Simmons pads and everything. But no, I mean, the 2 tracks sound great. And as I told you, there's another one called Guitar Speak, which was all these different guitarists. I think Ronnie Montrose, Leslie West was on it. Alvin Lee, I think, and Steve got asked to do a track on that, so I did that with him too.
Right on. I'm looking for my another album I was going to ask you about, and I misplaced it. Oh well. Move on.
Okay, hey, here's a question from one of our regulars, Donnell.
Okay. Videos. Yeah, I mean, we did enjoy them. I mean, funnily enough, the Power and the Glory video was a castle probably about an hour from where I live, a castle called Bodiam. All I can tell you is when we were doing it, the weather was crap. Oh my God, it was just. But I think with I mean, videos can be fun, but I think during that sort of period, I think all these video directors were trying to outdo themselves, as if they were doing a movie.
Right.
And sometimes I think the videos didn't make sense. I mean, tell me what the Power and the Glory video tells you. It doesn't, there's 5 guys in bloody Ghostbusters film busting into a castle. I mean, really? I mean, I remember seeing another, I can't remember the band. Well, I can, but I'm not going to say it. There was another video by another British band, and it was some sort of ballad. But I remember watching it, and there's this guy rolling around outside this big country house on the lawn wrapped in cling film. And I thought, what the hell's that about? Really? So I don't know, but it was, that was then. That's how it was. And they were trying to outdo each other all the time, being artistic,
And that's how a lot of musicians were getting known too, by all those crazy videos on MTV.
Sure.
I mean, you didn't have the internet and all the kind of stuff we have now.
That's right. I mean, I was when MTV bloody happened. I mean, I was up all night watching it. It was ridiculous, because I got into bands like Loverboy and stuff like that. I loved all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just watching. Oh, what's on next? What's on next? It was just. And
Yep,
before you knew it, was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Sitting there with my VHS tape, waiting to record the next song.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what were some of the we had an episode a couple of episodes back where we took our desert island albums, the albums that we would absolutely have to carry with us to a desert island. So the house is on fire. You can only rescue a handful of your records. What are you taking with you?
Can you see your like favorite bands or whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus. Well, I've always said my favorite ever band is Genesis.
Really? Right on.
From start to finish, I love them.
I love Genesis. One of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah, that's my favorite band. Probably my second, because I'm a bit of a prog head, really. It's like my second favorite band is an Italian band called PFM. I don't know if you've heard of them, but I mean, they're brilliant. They've been going since 1970 or something, and they've been over there to tour, and they're still touring now. I mean, the guitarist they've got now is phenomenal.
I just wrote it down. I'll check it out.
Yeah, you must. I mean, they're a great band. They went a little bit poppy in the 80s, but before that, it was like prog, heavy, jazzy, classical prog, And their drummer was a big influence on me. In fact, one of their albums called Chocolate Kings, I used to drive my parents mad because I'd have my drum kit up in the bedroom, put headphones on with this blast and play along to the album endlessly,
I just wrote it down. I'll be looking that up next.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff. I mean, the first sort of, I suppose the first serious album, when I was at school, the first, I was being sort of pre-teen, I was into stuff like the Monkees, I guess the first sort of serious band I ever got into was the Moody Blues.
Wow.
So, probably a couple of their early albums. I don't know. There's just loads of stuff. I don't think, in the end, I'd probably just go, I can't make my mind up and let them all go,
That would be me too. Yeah, it's hard to pick one.
It is. Yeah. I mean, again, another band, King Crimson. I mean, their first album was just mind-blowing,
How about Yes?
Yeah, exactly. Funnily enough, I've just been reading we got a magazine in England called Prog. You can get it over there as well. It's like, classic rock. You can get classic rock over there, I think. But they're prog on the side of it, and they've just bought out a complete sort of small supplement thing to it. It's all the history of Yes, and I've literally just finished it this afternoon. But yeah, I mean, it's all through some of the Yes stuff. I mean, all the periods of it. I mean, I've got a load of their albums at home. I love them,
Yeah, I used to really dig the early stuff, and I sort of waved off the Going for the One, Tormato, Drama, all those.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I stumbled across a friend of mine who was trying to do a space rock comp for me. Put on a track from Wanderer from the Going for the One.
Yeah.
So it was so cool that I went out and found the record, and then I listened to the whole thing. And why didn't I listen to this before? And then all of a sudden, now I'm down the rabbit hole, and I even like Tormato. And grief.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I haven't
Tormato's
got
awesome.
I want to get that, but I love Magnification. You know,
Me
the
too.
one with the orchestra. It's great. I mean, I love Chris Squire's bass playing. It's just
Yes.
you know,
He had that growl to his sound.
Yeah. And he almost played like descants to some of what they were playing. You know, he wasn't just like a thump, thump, thump bass player. He was playing his own melodies on the bass, and that's what I loved about it.
If Lemmy were playing prog rock, kind of that Rickenbacker growl.
Yeah, the Rickenbacker growl that Geddy Lee had in the early Rush days.
Right. Yeah. I mean, such a great tone, you know.
Very cool.
I'm still looking for my question here, but I did have, because you were in and out of Saxon a few times, and I was going to ask you, there was that period around Metalhead and stuff where you weren't there. Did you just take a break, or
no? I ripped a muscle between my neck and my shoulder.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah, but I just think it just started off like, I think, a little nick, because we toured South America and rental gear. I mean, my kit is sort of set up on a rack, and it's like within millimeters every night. So suddenly, you know, you've got rental gear and it's not quite where your body's used to it, and maybe reaching for that china or something, it tore. And I didn't really notice it actually to start with. It was only, funnily enough, later on when we were doing I think it was in America, or was it a British tour? I can't remember, but lying down, that's when it started hurting. I was going to osteopaths and all that stuff, because I thought maybe it's a sort of vertebrae thing or something. Mm-hmm. And eventually I went to see my own doctor, and he put my hand on, that bit at the side, by his shoulders there. He put that either side of me, and after I pulled myself out of the roof, because it killed me when he did that, he said, "Yeah, you've ripped a muscle, so you've got to stop playing for about 6 months."
Wow! So this was your last
6 months. So
that was your last. That was the tour you were on then for when that happened.
Yeah, I missed that tour. No, I did that. Did I do that tour? Yeah,
I know you did.
That tour in Europe, but I didn't do it in America. Yeah, so I did it in Europe, and but I was still. I ended up still writing with Saxon. I co-wrote 4. I think it was 3, 4, or 5 tracks on Killing Ground. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't touring with them because, first of all, actually, once they got Fritz Randau in, I didn't think it was fair that, I was being asked, "Oh, come back to the band, come back." I didn't think it was fair because he just settled into the drum stool, and I didn't think it was fair that I just pushed him out again. And I got into doing other stuff. It was then that I started doing the library music.
Oh,
while I was out of the band and everything. So I was quite enjoying that.
And this I thought was a different, a heavier direction. This was like Saxon on steroids. I thought this is. Everything was really melodic up to here, but here you got much heavier, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think. Well, there's still melody on it. Doug had joined.
Sure.
Doug joined the band for that. Doug joined the band for the Dogs of War tour, and then this was his first recording with that. So obviously his guitar playing had an influence. But from a writing point of view, actually, I had quite a lot to do with that writing, because I'd finally got myself like a computer set up where I could actually write stuff, ideas down, and build them up rather than humming something to a band member. What about this for a riff? I could actually play it on a keyboard and do it. So I had quite a big hand in writing that album.
Oh,
I think awesome. But Doug joining as well. Doug gave it a more metal sound as well. So
I know that feeling. I've played in bands for years, and we'd be writing songs, and they'd be like, "We need something here," and I'd do the same thing, like, "How about do this?" Da 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 da, and they're like, I don't know how to play the guitar, so I'm always trying to mouth it out for him. But
yeah. It was funny. When we're in the studio, actually, it's just everyone grabs everything. One song on, I think it was on Killing Ground. Was it Shadows on the Wall? I think it's on Killing Ground. I actually started that on a keyboard. Nibs got on the drum kit. Quinny picked up what I was playing on keyboards, and that's how that started. And another thing was on the Labyrinth album. There was one bit in it I was playing bass, and Biff might be on the drums or whatever. It's just everyone just swaps all over the place, which is fun actually.
Go ahead, Rob. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No. You're doing great, buddy. So I understand from Tony. Tony set me up with a couple things, and he told me that you're a bit of a beer aficionado as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know aficionado. I just know what I like.
Well, what do you like? Have you been able to get out to any of the local breweries here in the DFW area?
No, I just go to the local liquor store and go around. I know because I lived in Lakeway near Austin for 3 years, so I was going into Total Wine and places like that and sort of buying stuff. I mean, one of my favorite beers is by, oh God, I can't even remember what it's bloody called now. What's the brewery? I love all the Sierra Nevada stuff. I mean, I like IPAs.
Okay.
IPAs.
Okay. Time out.
IPA's my stuff. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, cool.
Do you have an extra one of those, Rob? Because I would be happy. I've got 2 left. One I'm going to keep, and one I'd be happy to donate to the cause. Nigel.
This one is earmarked for our guest today.
Awesome.
No, I've got another one I like. There's an IPA called Space Dust. I love that. But funnily enough, when we moved to Lakeway, we went into a local restaurant around there, and the first evening we got there, and they had this beer on tap called Electric Jellyfish, and that's remained my favorite. It's like a hazy New England IPA, and it's strong too. It's great. That's my favorite. Yeah, all the IPAs I just love. Stouts, I sort of got into stout for a bit of a while. A friend of mine, Jim, who lives in Florida, he, we keep sending each other beer porn. What we had? He sent me this picture of this stout the other night. It was 17.5%. I was like, whoa. One of those, I just said one of those, and it'd be good night from me.
Yeah, same.
God.
So this thing, we had a show here a couple months ago with the band The Skull and the Obsessed. And so Division Brewing over in Arlington, Texas, put this limited edition out. And my buddy Carcass John with the unreadable shirt drew the artwork for this.
Yeah, brilliant. Great. Yeah,
so before you get out of town on Wednesday, I'll get Tony to get this to you, or I'll figure out how to get this down to you. My neighbor across the street drives hours to go for beer openings and things
like
that. Here. So he had one of these, and he said it was top shelf. So
great.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
I'll look forward to that then.
What's that?
I'll look forward to that.
Oh yeah. I'll make sure to get that to you.
So no, I mean, it was funny. I mean, when I was living over here, we'd sort of go into our local like HEB, and they had a massive selection in there, and it would just go, let's pick up a 6-pack of those, try them. And the house we bought, actually, we bought a big fridge for it, but the previous owners had left another one, like a big American fridge freezer, so that the fridge size I literally just filled with beer. Filled it. It was great.
You're a good Texan, Nigel. See, and you didn't even know it. You're a good Texan. You got a beer fridge.
No, it's great. I love it.
This came out of the beer fridge right before the show.
There you go.
Excellent.
So you married a girl. Well, now I understand now that your wife, Gina, who you met, some years ago, now she does collectible candles that are hard rock and metal based. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, not just hard rock, just any music based. It's everything, I mean, we both all the time we were at home, we burned candles in the evening and stuff, and she just suddenly thought, there's a market, it could be a market for this, like rock and roll candles. And she's we were swapping sort of She's working with a girl over here in the States who does them. They're all hand poured and everything, and sort of getting ideas for the various fragrances and stuff, and then she got some licensed candles. She got a Motorhead licensed one, a Judas Priest, a Toya one,
Here's
and a
a
Saxon one.
here's a mixture of the two: Iron Maiden Trooper beer, and it's a candle.
Wow.
But yeah, so she got into that. I mean, she's done a sort of one called Asia. And one of the best-selling ones she's got is one called Gold Dust Woman. Stevie Nicks Fleetwood Mac thing.
Yeah.
So
Does she have a website?
So they're great.
Does she have a website you can plug for her?
Yeah, it's called evokecandleco.com.
I'm gonna write that down as well.
EVOKE candleco.com.
Cool.
I'm gonna check that out. I saw a picture of something about a denim and leather set or something.
Yeah, there's a Saxon set. Yeah. We did another one. We did another candle called Heavy Metal Drummer. It's a picture of me from the Crusader period on it. And actually all the proceeds from that go to because I had a burst brain aneurysm in 2014. And also the girl that played the dragon girl in Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
She had a couple of those as well, and like me, she could have died from them. And so all the proceeds from that particular candle go to her charity.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So tell us, Tony was telling me about the aneurysm, and I did not remember that. So was that did you have any idea that anything was going on, or was it just an out of the blue?
It just happened. It just happened. Bang.
Just like that.
Yeah, we were on tour, and we played Glasgow, and the next show was in Newcastle, so we had a day off. So we drove from Newcastle down to Gateshead, which is literally just across the river from Newcastle. And we were in the hotel. We booked it, got to the hotel, did that, and I opened the laptop. I was just reading the newspaper on the laptop, and suddenly my head just exploded like the worst. Well, the funny thing was actually my neck just suddenly jammed. I couldn't, and then my head exploded, and I had vision as if I was looking underwater. I don't know if you ever have like a really hot bath, you get out of it, you feel a bit, for a minute, just for a second. So, and I just sort of fell onto the bed, and in the interim, Gina rang up just to say hello, and I said, I can't move. I just could not move. With the end result, I got rushed into the hospital, and they did two brain operations on me. One time they had to try and get up through the artery near your groin, get up there to try and clip it off, because it burst. I was bleeding into my skull.
Wow.
And they couldn't do that, so then they had to open up my skull and get in that way. But I was about that going.
Yeah.
And I was in hospital for a month.
You learn a lot about yourself when you're sitting on a hospital bed and they're telling you could die at any minute.
Well, they didn't tell me that. I found that out afterwards. But the thing was, I mean, I was this was just before Christmas 2014. So I got out in January, and I was gigging. I was back again gigging in April, which was quite. And funnily enough, I invited the surgeon that operated on me the next time we played in Newcastle, and we were having a few beers afterward, and he said, "You're an effing freak." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, for a start, I didn't expect you to be able to, if you survived, I didn't expect you to be able to play the drums for about another 18 months, 2 years." And I was back on tour within 3 months.
Wow.
So, and I said, "Well, that's all down to you. Thank you."
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, we are glad that you made it.
Yeah, we sure are. Holy cow.
And I mean, I've got to, I've got to thank Gina, because she really chased up, our tour manager rang an ambulance, and she actually rang up from where we were in the south of England and got the number for the local ambulance service near where I was, and she chased them up. So thank God, you know.
Yeah,
Because she said no. She just said no. This is not right, and she rang the tour manager actually and said you've got to get him an ambulance now. So thanks to her, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's scary. That's a scary situation.
That's done now.
Yeah.
Yeah, all done. And we are thankful that you're well. So Tony checks in and he has 2 words.
He's got it. Has he had one, I wonder? That's the baby. That is the one.
Tony, because Tony is a friend of mine through, I work with his stepson. How do you know Tony?
I met him in Addison. We were in the Londoner. You know, the bar down there. Yeah.
So now, and obviously, now this is just a happen thing. You're in the Londoner, he's in the Londoner, and he's like, oh shit, there's Nigel from Saxon.
I can't actually, to be quite honest with you, I can't remember unless I think maybe he knew someone I knew or something. I can't remember, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well,
we probably had probably had too much bloody IPA by that time, I think, or something, you know. And believe you me, next time I'm over, we plan on having a lot more too.
Absolutely. So I was going to tell you, Scott and John. So Tony has a Saxon logo on one of his arms, and he's got flags of all the countries that he's seen Saxon in, and space left for more countries to be filled in.
Wow. Now, even I haven't seen that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh. I bet there's no way I can share the picture from my phone, but yeah, I have a picture of it. So, and my friend is offering via text right now. He does custom barbecue. I don't know if you've ever had amazing Texas barbecue, but next time you come to town, he is offering barbecue catering next time you're in Dallas. So
brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Cool. Excellent. No fun.
Come on, boys, what have you got for Nigel before we let him to go?
I'm just getting a history lesson here because I'm familiar with Saxon, but now I'm looking at PFM and I'm thinking about Toya and Krakatoa. So I've got homework.
Well, Krakatoa didn't release anything, so
wow,
we couldn't get a deal.
You know, when you were talking about that earlier, it reminded me of the grunge. When grunge hit the America, it almost killed metal. Almost.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Single-handedly, yeah. And it sounds kind of like that. Great bands were just not able to get a deal because it wasn't popular.
That's right.
So anyway,
I mean, we went down in popularity around that time when that happened. You know.
Yeah.
And. But we just sort of resorted we did one tour in the UK. We thought, well, we've just got to get out and, keep plugging away. I think we did something like 60 shows just in the UK.
Wow.
And we were going to towns that people hadn't played in for ages. Bands hadn't played, like theatres and stuff. And they were great. I didn't even know some of them existed. It was brilliant. So we had a good. It was pretty grueling, but it was good.
Well, kind of like Kiss did. I mean, we saw them sell out stadiums and arenas, and then we saw them in a small club when they were trying to figure things out. And to their credit, like yours, you just keep plugging away and.
Yeah,
eventually you come out the backside of that. So
exactly. But yeah, grunge killed off a lot. I mean, it's like this damn pandemic thing has. There's a great British prog band who were just starting to get somewhere called Anathema. Great band, and they've gone on indefinite hiatus. That's it. I think they've gone, and it's such a shame because they were really starting to get somewhere.
Well, I just want to mention that being that you're a prog head, you definitely need to check out Osric Tentacles. I know that's.
I know them.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. That's Edwin, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I told you that the last show I saw Saxon on was with UDO, but actually the last time I saw Saxon was in LA with Judas Priest. You guys.
Ah, right. Yeah, that was a great tour. That.
And Black Star Riders was opening that setup. Yeah, that's when the last time I saw. And you were fantastic. I was 16 again. That's same thing with Priest.
That was a great tour. That actually.
Yeah, that was both. You guys are both fantastic. I mean, my wife was with me, and she's not into the style of metal. She's more into pop country and stuff like that. She said she was more amused watching me bang my head for 2 hours, and then. But I mean, literally, I'm a 50-something-year-old guy here, and I was 16 again. So
yeah, no, that was a great tour. Thoroughly enjoyed that. We wish it had gone on longer, actually. And
I think you guys sold that show. I think you guys sold that show out like in no time. Yeah, it was sold out. So anyhow, moving forward.
That was the thing that impressed me too, Scott. When I saw him for the first time, because I've known about Saxon since the '80s and had records over the years. But when I saw you guys finally at Gas Monkey Live with UFO, I just couldn't believe the energy that came off the stage. I thought, oh well, this will be good, and these guys have been around a long time. Oh, this will be nice. Holy cow!
Nice.
Saxon will blow your fucking wig off, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean that was a good tour as well with the UFOs. It was great. Because we've known them a long time, so it was. Oh yeah, it was good fun.
We've had Rob DeLuca, the bass player, on the show. He was a real nice guy.
Yeah, Rob's cool.
Yeah, he's out with Sebastian Bach now. They just finished their tour.
Yeah. No, I mean Phil Mogg lives probably about half an hour from me, so we keep threatening to meet up. So I'm actually when I get back, I must give him a ring.
I just picked up in a collection. I buy and sell records and CDs on the side, and I just picked up a couple of the Mogg Way CDs. I'd never heard them.
Yeah,
really good, very good.
Yeah,
I love both of them.
Yeah,
the two that I have, there may be more.
But I only had 2 studio albums I know of.
Oh, okay. Well, then I absolutely love them. I can't put my hands on them right this second.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're a great band too. Great. There's a lot of great stuff out there. I mean, one of my other favorite bands, they're friends of mine, is this Polish band called Riverside. Don't know if you've heard of them. You want to check them out. They're brilliant.
We're taking notes.
Yeah, I can see your heads all went down at the same time.
The power of the pen.
They're a great band. Brilliant.
Ready to take note. So obviously you've toured for several decades now, but is there anybody that you'd still like to meet or tour with, even after all the success of Saxon?
I just like sort of, I don't think so much touring with. I just like sort of meeting these people that you sort of look up to. I mean, a friend of mine was the production manager for Journey, and I finally got to meet Steve Smith, and it was, when he rejoined Journey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And it was great because he'd been doing all this fusion stuff, and suddenly there he is again on this big double kit again. And I said to him, "You getting used to playing a big kit again?" He went, "Yes, slowly." But he was really nice, really quiet guy. What an amazing drummer, though. Whoa, great player.
Cool.
Yeah, great. You want to see a drum solo? Check out the Steve Smith solo from the previous big Journey tour.
Okay.
It's amazing. He just makes it look so easy. When I'm soloing, it's like it's like he's just doing it like
flying off the back of the rise.
Just have a cup of tea, and he's like, it's just like, whoa, so amazing.
I know we gotta let you go soon, but since we're talking drummers and stuff like that, 2 of my favorite drummers I thought were always really underrated. One was Brian Downey from Thin Lizzy.
Great player. Great.
And I just don't think the guy gets his due, because I mean he was doing things.
I agree with you. I mean, he gave Lizzy that swing.
Yeah, he did.
Definitely.
And not only that, but he was doing a lot of metal stuff before it was even called metal. I mean, who else was doing that steady double bass stuff before him? I mean, in that hard rock music. But then also, I always thought that Joey Kramer from Aerosmith had a unique style that
superb.
Yep.
Superb. We were where the hell were we? Actually, maybe I think this might have been Atlanta as well. Actually, so I think it was Atlanta. They came through with the lineup that had Jimmy Crespo and
Okay.
Rick Dufay.
Rick Dufay, yep.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Kramer was. I mean, we went down and saw them, and instantly, Kramer's playing. He was so tight. Oh, brilliant! He drove that band. Drove it.
I agree, and I don't think most people give all the credit to to Perry and Tyler, but I really always thought Kramer was the backbone. Yep.
Without and Tom Hamilton's a great bass player.
Exactly.
Really is great. And I don't think Brad Whitford gets the recognition.
No, so I've heard people say he's a better guitar player.
He is actually. He's superb. Yeah. He's a different style from Perry. Yes. But I mean, he's a great player. Brilliant. No, they're a great band.
So Tony has given you a wink here.
Has he?
He said, yeah.
Oh, God. Gina's the Mrs. Favorite drummer's Jeff Porcaro. So he must know this. He's trying. Something's going off here, I wonder. So I don't know if they've been in contact trying to wind me up or something.
Maybe.
I mean, Jeff Porcaro, what a great player. Great player.
So here's a really simple question, and then we'll let you go.
It's all right. There's no rush. If you're, I can talk.
Okay. Yeah, cool. No worries. I just feel
I can talk as long as you want, guys.
Fantastic. So this is from David Beck, one of our viewers.
Okay. Would Saxon play it download again? I mean, it'd be great to. It would be great, but we can't force the issue. We have to be asked. I think they put us on one time. They put us on ridiculous time. We were on at 12 o'clock midday, and I mean that was just ridiculous. And Steve Strange, who was our
right at the end. Well, we got through almost all of it,
and he was ready to go for days.
That's all right. We'll hold on. We will hold on.
Robin Taylor. Yeah, there you go. I think I agree. I always wondered why they weren't. Yeah. I mean, they had everything going for them. I mean, the label, the look, the logo, the songwriting, the great singer. What didn't they have?
Yeah, it's just weird the way the ball bounces and who makes it and who doesn't. And I don't know how political it is. I don't know who I don't know. I don't know what. Maybe he can answer some of that. It looks like he's about to pop back in. And
back again. I'm here again.
You said you'd stay, and then you bailed on it.
And then you bailed out.
I don't know what's going on with this, but anyway. No. And Steve Strange, our agent that just died a little while. He died a few weeks ago. He was there at the side of the stage. This was about 12 o'clock in the morning we went on. And it was like we were expecting, it was going to be pathetic, but we thought we got to do it. And about 20 to 30,000 people turned up, and Steve, our agent, was at the side of the stage in tears. It was great. I think I'm trying to think who went on after us. Black Veil Brides went on after us, and they weren't very well received, from what I remember. But which is a shame because they're a good band. They're good players.
Well, isn't that the inherent problem with some of these? Some of the festivals used to be very unique and had 6 or 8 killer bands, and now there's, like, I went to Wacken, and even that was sort of a cattle call. They had 2 stages working, a side stage working, a 4th stage in a tent after hours. And it's like 20 minutes in a cloud of dust, and it just doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
But you get exposed to 60, 80,000 people at a whack there. So anyway, but yeah,
no,
noon for Saxon just doesn't seem fair.
No, I mean Wacken, we always have a good, we go down great at Wacken. We always love playing Wacken and everything. But it's like all these festivals sometimes, sometimes they're great. I'm not talking about the audience. Generally the audiences are great, but it can be everything else that is a bit up in the air, because obviously there's so many bands playing, there's gear and all sorts of stuff going on, although we have our own gear, obviously. But But you never know what's going to happen. I mean, one day actually, I can't remember. I think this was about 4 or 5 years ago. We actually did 2 festivals in one day.
Wow. That's like the old barnstorming days.
Wow.
Oh, we lost him again. Well,
we'll get this. I see your text coming through. We are still live. He will be back with us, and I think we'll wrap it up with Robin's.
Yep, as soon as he gets back on.
Yeah, he'll pop back in here in a second. Thanks for hanging with us, everybody. We don't get a chance to speak live with somebody from Saxon every day, so we will be patient and try to read Carcass's shirt.
No, don't.
Remember when we were talking for 15 minutes and I didn't go live? That ruled.
Oh, yeah. It was actually 17 minutes, but who's counting?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, here we go.
It's getting silly.
There we go.
Hey, we know you.
I don't know what's going on with this. But no, we
did.
Right. We played in Denmark, did a festival in Denmark, jumped onto a private plane, shot down, and then played a full set at 11 o'clock at night in Germany.
Wow.
That was killer. That was. Whoa.
It's got to be rough on a drummer. I mean, it's got to be the roughest on you. You have the most physical job on the stage, so.
Yeah, it was. I sort of, it was crazy, and the annoying thing was there was no bloody. Someone had eaten all the bloody food when we got to Germany. So it was like,
sounds like the Carcass got there before you guys.
All right now.
So this is a thought from our buddy Robin Taylor. Uh-oh.
Did we lose him again?
I think so.
Then we should probably just let him go.
Yeah, hang with us, guys. Hang with us. He'll come back.
He's there's some internet issues going on.
So Riverside from Poland.
I'm trying to get people some of the I think you did break him, Robin.
You broke him, Robin. Potato fry. No, we just did this one special because he had time to do this today. That's why we're doing a Sunday show as opposed to Tuesday.
Oh, here he comes.
He's trying to get back in.
Oh, well.
Baby, come back. Oh, it's all good. I mean, he got through out 45 minutes with no issues, so.
Yeah, we did. It was good. Vamping. Vamping. Anybody get any jokes?
No, but I don't think any of it. But the only joke I know that actually goes over is I one in Spanish. So no.
Go ahead.
And it actually is pretty funny. But who speaks Spanish in the crowd? Nobody that I know of. You guys don't. And if I tell you the punchline, you're just gonna go.
Do it anyway.
Yep.
Okay. ¿Cuál es el animal más flojo en todo el mundo? What is the laziest animal in the world? Anybody? It's el pez, the fish. Because the word for what a fish does every day is nada. There you see, I told you. Not the same.
Yep.
And I don't know how many times I've been in the landscape business now since 81. And every time I tell that joke to these guys, they laugh. Now, I don't know if they just think because I'm a gringo is, trying to speak Spanish and he's funny, or if it's genuinely funny, but I think it's kind of funny myself.
Hey, John.
Yes,
we have somebody asking what your shirt actually says because we weren't live when we actually said it.
Oh, it says mortiferum.
Oh, hang on. I'll move the Well,
mortiferum.
There we go.
They're a band from Washington State, and they're on tour with the Mighty Immolation. and they'll be here in Dallas, Fort Worth area in February. So getting pretty excited because I never thought I'd get to see them. They're one of those bands that I like. They just released a brand new record called Abhorrent Genesis, and they're like a doomy funeral doom, but a true death metal band, kind of the old Swedish sound meets. It has some atmosphere and some ambience to it, but they're brutal. I really like them. So they would go nicely with the likes of Blood Incantation, Tomb Mold, Vastum, Spectral Voice, Ossuarium, Mortuous. Anybody? No.
So he just emailed me and said that he thinks the laptop fried. So I think we have officially wrapped it up.
It's all the Osric tentacles talk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, so to catch everybody up from the beginning, this came about. I told the story, but my buddy at work, his stepdad knows Nigel and got us the interview. And so all of a sudden I get this phone call and it's Nigel this afternoon. Hey man, yeah, let's do this. It's going to be great. You know, talk about whatever. And so we visited for probably 15 minutes before we all connected to start the show. So at 4:00, I played the theme to Nobody, did the countdown for Nobody, and we talked to Nigel for 17 minutes and never went live because I didn't push the damn button. So then,
and I kept thinking to myself, there is not one comment. There's no comment. I mean,
there's no way. Right.
Are these closers do they not know who this guy is?
Nope. I screwed up. It was all me. It's all me.
Punch the button.
Yeah. So anyway, now what I'll do. Oh boy. What a man. I apologize for the bumpy ride, boys. I'll get better at this.
You're fine.
All good.
Talk about production value.
Oh,
you know what? God. We never said we were professionals. We just fans.
That's right. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and close it out. We've been jabbering on here for about an hour. I'm going to officially call the show episode 117 on behalf of myself, the Carcass, and Scott Waters. Until next time.
Metal
will prevail. Thank you for with us, kids. Thank you.